All right, ladies and gentlemen, huge oversight hearings in the Congress today. The director of the Secret Service on the hot seat as the revelations continue to pour out about the man who made his way well into the White House with a knife. And our own John Bachman joins us to bring us more on that story.
Yeah, Steve, we were all anticipating that grilling from the Secret Service Director Julia Pearson today, and to some extent that's exactly what we got, but there were also a couple of lawmakers who used this forum, the House Oversight Committee, to take the Secret Service Director to task in a very public fashion.
This is beyond the pale, and I've listened to your testimony very deliberately here this morning, and I wish to God you protected the White House like you're protecting your reputation here today.
Well, that's Massachusetts Democrat Stephen Lynch there. The hearing comes after, of course, the September 19th breach at the White House. A man named Omar Gonzalez, who you just saw there on camera, jumped the fence and was able to penetrate the front doors. And then we found out last night that Gonzalez reportedly made it all the way into the East Room, close to the doors of the Green Room. That area is past the staircase, which leads upstairs to the first family's residence. He was later found to be carrying a small knife. Also, Jason Chaffetz of Utah today wanted to know why Omar Gonzalez, the White House fence jumper, was not taken out by the Secret Service. He says the uniformed officers did not use enough force.
Don't let them get in the White House, ever. And if they have to take action that's lethal, I will have their back. In this day and age of ISIL and terrorists and IEDs and dirty bombs, we don't know what's going on underneath that person's clothing.
I heard some of the members talk about this as well today. The AP has been reporting that guards did not think that Gonzalez was carrying a weapon. Of course, we know that's wrong now. Plus, let's not forget that he had hundreds of rounds of ammo in his car and had been previously arrested and found with a map that had the White House circled. So many questions remain unanswered still. But another fair question, Steve, is why didn't they even release the White House guard dogs? They didn't have to shoot them necessarily, but they do have those guard dogs. Those were not utilized either. And as you just saw, members pretty unsatisfied with the answers we did get today. Here's Secret Service Director Julia Pearson's promise, which came during her opening statement.
It's clear that our security plan was not properly executed. This is unacceptable, and I take full responsibility, and I will make sure that it does not happen again.
Well, the breach, of course, is just the latest in a string of embarrassing incidents for the Secret Service, including gunshots fired at the White House in 2011 and a prostitution scandal involving agents in Colombia in 2012. And a lot of this, you know, it's kind of sad, Steve. It has to make you laugh just a little bit, though. White House spokesman Josh Earnest said today during the press briefing that the president still has confidence in the Secret Service. But we also got some suggestions from members of the Oversight Committee today on how to beef up security. Congressman John Mica of Florida held up a sign from ADT Home Security. But, Steve, I was also a little surprised Chairman Issa didn't mention this.
Viper armed. Protected by Viper. Stand back.
Remember those old Viper car alarm commercials from the 1980s? That, of course, is the chairman of the House Oversight Committee and his voice doing that commercial there. That's the company that he ran prior to his service in the Congress. But again, Steve, no plans this time to install any Viper-style alarms at the White House. We do know, though, that the front door now will automatically lock.
I don't know where you pulled that out from. Good job on that. And I had no idea that he was involved in that.
No, yeah, that was his job prior to running for Congress. He's talked a little bit about his voice, which used to be played on those car alarms. Just a little tidbit from the archives there for you.
But so much more serious of a matter here, and you know, everything that was talked about. You know, in my view, when someone's broken into the White House like that, you shoot first and ask questions later. I mean, what's more important than protecting the president, even though he wasn't there? Could have had some kind of bomb on him, who knows? But great job, John, in covering up and summing up the whole proceeding from today. Appreciate it. Look forward to talking to you again, sir.
No problem, Steve. We don't mean to make light, just throwing that in there, of course. They do
no, absolutely. No, and I wasn't
fixed.
implying you were. No. Yeah, absolutely. But no, that you know, maybe that would work. Maybe they should bring that in to help the Secret Service. Couldn't hurt the way things are going. Thanks, John.
Can't have too much
John
security,
Bachman, ladies and gentlemen.
No problem.
Yeah, that's true. John Bachman, our own John Bachman, Newsmax update anchor and investigative reporter here on the Steve Malzberg Show. No, nobody's making light of anything except, you know, you wonder if what the Secret Service is doing. Well, are they making light? I mean, you know, the reports we have now, there was a siren, an alarm that was supposed to be on within the White House. they shut it off because it made too much noise. There was a door that was supposed to be locked. Well, that door was unlocked. Someone broke in. You know, I mean, don't they have communications with each other? Didn't you always think until this incident that the White House, that you couldn't get into the White House? I mean, my God, the best of the best, the most elite, police officers, if you will, with the sunglasses and the earpiece and all, and they had communications, and their wristwatches probably talked, and the whole thing. And what does it turn out? A guy got over the fence, over the lawn, ran the lawn, got past the guard, went into the door, ran down the hall, overpowered a female Secret Service agent. The alarm wasn't on, the door was unlocked. It's like, what? It's like a bad story from your neighborhood where a person had their home broken into. This can't happen at the White House, but it did. More incompetence. And I'm sure the president has the utmost faith and security and confidence in, not security, confidence in the female head of the department. Of course, he has the utmost confidence in everybody that screws up, whether it's the IRS, whether it's Benghazi, whether it's Secret Service, doesn't matter. All right, folks, we'll be back with the president of Act for America, the great Brigitte Gabriel, after the break. But first, artificial sweeteners. Remember they first came out as a less fattening alternative to sugar? I remember that. But you always ask yourself, are they safe? What exactly are they made of? What is in there? How much should we be using? Lots of questions, because anything that's an alternative and you figure there's chemicals, it's not real sugar, it's a chemical. Well, we will find out the answers to these and other questions surrounding artificial sweeteners right now in your Max to Health moment. Don't go away.
A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. But what about the fake stuff? Splenda, Sweet and Low, and Equal are the most popular substitutes, providing less calories and more sweetener. But when it comes to the healthiest option, which one is the best for you?
So I don't think one or the other is better. I believe that for diabetics, artificial sweeteners can be very helpful for controlling their blood sugar levels. I think that if your body is able to digest sugar naturally, then you're better off having the real thing, even though there is going to be calories in it. I just recommend you have a smaller amount of the real sugar.
To maintain a healthy eating habit, learn to limit the amount of sugar intake you have, whether artificial or not. Remember, the less sugar you have, the less sugar your sweet tooth craves.
In Hong Kong, thousands of activists continue their protests for democracy. Hi everyone, I'm Olga Villaverde, and this story tops your Newsmax Now update. The Occupy Central activists were undeterred by the heavy rain on the 5th day of protest. They say the Chinese government must respond to their demands for political reform by tomorrow. Also, President Obama met with India's Prime Minister today in the Oval Office. The leaders of the world's two largest democracies are talking about ways to expand collaboration on trade and technology. In Virginia, the search for missing student Hannah Graham continues, but police say their suspect, Jesse Matthew Jr., is linked to the 2009 death of another student, Morgan Harrington. And finally, in an effort to reduce litter, California Governor Jerry Brown bans plastic bags today. Under the new law, the bags will be phased out of the grocery stores starting next summer. And that's your Newsmax Now update. We'll see you in about 30 minutes.